Today I'm going to cover what is a stock index. So a stock index is a statistical measure on the health of the market. It can give us an indication of what direction the market is going in, be it up, down, or sideways. And we often hear this in the headlines of the news, most commonly referring to the Dow Jones. And there's 3 points I want to make about the stock index. The first is that there can be indices that cover geographies. So we have the TSX in Canada, for example, the FTSE in London, the Nikkei in Japan, and there are indices that cover sectors. So we have a financial index, there's an industrial index, and that can tell us about the health or direction of those specific sectors. Second point is that if we move to the US, amongst the most common indices that we often hear about are the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ. So the Dow Jones, which started off as a group of industrial companies, hence the name Dow Jones Industrial Average, is a group of 30 of the largest, most blue chip, think safe companies that are household names that we know. For example, Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson. The S&P 500 is 500 companies in the US that cover about 80% of the US market and was created after the Dow Jones. And then the most recent is the NASDAQ, which is commonly thought of as the tech index, but in fact does contain companies from all different sectors, both large and small. And the last point I wanted to cover was, since we often hear about the Dow Jones and people use that as a barometer of the market, I wanted to just go into whether we think that is in fact the most accurate way to understand how the market's doing. And I'm going to argue no, for 2 reasons. Firstly, the Dow Jones is only 30 companies of the safest, most defensive companies in the US. So it doesn't represent the overall market. Second, it is price weighted, meaning that the calculation of how the index works is basically, it's based on the price of the stocks. The most expensive stocks have the most power to move the index. This is in contrast to the S&P 500, which is market cap weighted. A market cap of a company is the number of stocks times the price. So that will give you the overall size of how much money has been put to acquire the shares of the company. The company is actually bigger, not just more expensive. And in the S&P 500, when a larger company stock price moves, it moves the index more, which I would argue is a more accurate way of determining what's happening in the market, and to give us a sense of, in fact, what the index is meant to do. Please do not hesitate. Send me suggestions, feedback, questions. I'm open to all of it, and I wish you a great day.